One of the great parts of our incredible Rotary FNQ Field Days has been the ability to talk to incredible people and get their amazing stories of their involvement in agriculture. So right now, we want to show you a celebration of agriculture, some of their incredible stories. Let's have a look.
Hi, my name's Chris Meisel. I'm from Dimbula. Grew up here, been involved in agriculture my whole life.
Marianne Salvetti, I live at Walkerman.
Hello, I'm Gavin Fleming. I'm from Mareeba, originally from southwest Victoria, from a dairy farm. So I come from a different agricultural sector.
My name's Peter Howe, live on the Atherton Tablelands at Kiroi.
Yeah, Aaron Butt from Homebush, just outside of Mackay.
My name's Enrique Cabassi. I'm a farming pioneer.
I'm a farmer. I've family operation with my husband and two sons and my daughter and daughter-in-law. We farm all sorts of different crops from sugarcane through to chia seed and soybeans for Vitasoy for milk. So a very diverse operation. And I'm also involved with Mossman Mill.
I am the president of the FNQ Growers, the president of the Mareeba Chamber of Commerce. I'm also the chair of Queensland Fruit and Veggie Growers.
My family's been here over 100 and something years in this Mareeba district, and I'm proud to be a farmer because farming is the history of all livelihoods. Without farmers, you don't have any food on your table.
With farming, I guess it's in my blood, but I really enjoy it.
It's a great way of life, and it's a great way to bring up young children. And I just love it.
Someone once joked to me that farming is a great way of life and a bugger way to make a living, which is probably true, but it's, I don't know, you have a connection to the land and particularly breeding livestock, you know, you get a bond with it, you get a real pleasure out of it and the freedom and the serenity.
It's a great lifestyle because, as I say to people, I'd rather be around 40 head of cattle than 40 people any day. So it's a great avenue for me to get away from my normal work life. But on top of that, you get a great deal of satisfaction breeding and rearing a really good animal.
Well, it's been how I've made a living for a long time. I think a lot of agricultural folk are really wonderful people and they have a lot of spirit and character. Just generally, I've always, it's one of the greatest places to be working in is agriculture. A tough business, but as a lifestyle and as an experience, it's probably one of the best you can have in the world.
I came up to the Tablelands over 40 years ago and became a farmer from a city girl, so to speak. And basically, I mean, it's just such a special type of lifestyle, and it was just awesome bringing the kids up in that sort of environment.
I mean, we came here as 5-year-old kids. My parents sort of thought that it was an opportunity to enhance their life in a new country, and they were in sort of farming pursuits back in the old country Croatia, and we came here. They've been tobacco farming, and we kids sort of grew up in that agricultural life, which was very, very beneficial. So we actually enjoyed our life in Australia, and I think it's probably the best country in the world to live in.
I was born on the farm, same farm that we live on today. I never lived anywhere else.
Yeah, we did sort of work on the farm as well at a very young age. We help our parents. But yeah, we got into probably some mischief around the place, lived a lot of time in water, went hunting and building rafts in the creek, and we had a pretty friendly, exciting life.
Well, I grew up on farms in Victoria and I think once it gets in your blood, it never leaves your blood. So I did have a professional career in media for 35 plus years and more recently in economic development, but all the time I kept an interest. We've had farms since 1994. Even though we were working off farm, but now we've got 3 properties on the Tablelands and very much full time into farming. So it's just a real passion. It's always been a passion, and I think it always will be.
I've been involved with agriculture my whole life. I enjoy every aspect of it, even though some days are harder than others. You've got staff management, you've got the economics of everything happening. But I love it because it's very rewarding in the sense that you start with raw inputs and you end up with finished produce, essentially. And, we eat 3 meals a day, so we sort of need some of that.
For me, it means a lot. It's like when you're in the farming family with a family group, it means that you always aim to have your next generation take over. If we don't have our next generation of young farmers coming through and help them to understand the farming background, how it operates, this country will be going to somewhere else and run by other people. And for me, I love to see the history of the farming family to keep going and producing the product they now understand and how to grow.
Even though the boys were given the opportunity to go off and do their own thing, and like my eldest boy's a mechanical engineer, my daughter's an accountant, my young son is a fitter and turner, so we encourage them to go and do other things other than just coming straight back on the farm, which is what they've done, but they've all found their way home into the business. And it's very special. You know, you work towards that next generation, and now we've got all the little ones. We've got 7 grandkids, and 5 of those are boys and a couple of girls if they want to get involved. And so there's opportunities for them. You know, there's a ready-made business for them if that's what they want to do. So yeah, very special. And if you look around the tablelands, especially in the red soil, nearly every farmer's got their children or grandchildren back working on the farm. It's very, very special.
Mareeba's a great place to live because it's actually the centre from everywhere. You've got an international airport at Cairns, you've got the Tinaroo which supplies water all across the area to the farming industries. You go all the way up to Lakeland, the Cape. So it's a great place, it's a centering for farming and also for the businesses that support farming.
The Mareeba Shire, it's probably one of the fairly influential shire as far as supporting the agriculture in Australia, and the best place about it, I guess we only got 2 sets of traffic lights.
It's just a great place to be. It's a great place to raise kids. You know, I was lucky enough to grow up as one of 6 kids on a farm. So we just, you know, we had so much fun living out there in the bush and just doing what bush kids did, you know, from the youngest of ages. So something that never leaves you, you know, it's always there. And both my brothers have had off-farm careers, but both of them have got multiple farms as well. So bit of a pattern there, you know.
I've said it before, I think the Atherton Tablelands, if you could go back into history, it was probably where the Garden of Eden was, because anything can grow in the Atherton Tablelands.
Yeah, look, honestly, we've had a lot of international people move into the area. They've purchased property here and they said to us, it's climate-based, ultimately. It really is a really, really productive agricultural area. It's probably worth more than what it actually is selling for, really. But anyway, apart from all of that, beautiful, beautiful weather, great people.
I had an argument one time a discussion with my mother-in-law, and I said, I think this is the most beautiful place in the world. And she went on to say, well, you wouldn't know, you've never lived anywhere else. And I thought, geez, you're probably right. But then I thought, well, I don't really want to live anywhere else.
Agriculture is a standout for me. It is a close-knit community. Our neighbours all pitch in when things need to happen, and yeah, it's really good. It's actually quite a rewarding field to be in.
Well, I enjoy coming up, Mareeba, Babinda, that sort of thing, for the real close-knit community, and sort of we've made some really good friends, and they come down and follow us with tractor pulls, and we come up here.
I think there's a great future in farming. You know, they're not making more agricultural land. I think food production is going to get more and more expensive. But in saying that, the last couple of years have been trying. It's just hard work, like with COVID, with labour shortages, costs going through the roof, you know, fertiliser, chemical, you know, freight, everything's getting out of control. It's hard work, but I think we'll still be here for a long time yet.
Yeah, and that's all I've ever wanted to do, was be a farmer, as long as I can remember. And I was really happy when I was at school, because one time there I got some grades back, and my teacher said to me, geez, these grades are no good, and the way you're going, the best you can hope for one day is to be a farmer. And I thought, well, that's good, that's exactly, I'm on track, exactly where I want to be. Yeah, so I thought, wow, that's a compliment.
I like doing what I'm doing. I'm going into a different phase where we've got a middle management team and a growth in that way, where I even to this day, currently I'm not as hands-on as much as I was before, so it's a different sort of model to what I had before, but it's very much personalised, family business focus in a larger scale.
I get asked, are you retired yet? And I always say I'm tired, but my next step is upstairs.
Am I going to do anything different? No, probably not. I like to think we're quite good at what we do. We're expanding in it. I can see a lot of opportunity. I'm still optimistic about for the future. I can see a lot of growth and potential. Yeah, there's probably some dark clouds on the horizon.
I've got a passion for vintage tractors and any old machinery. I have a few tractors of myself, but primarily I started collecting tractors with my father-in-law.
I guess my love for machinery and that started, I wasn't too good at school and I dropped out of school in about year 8, but I love tractors and whatnot, and we'd do many hours on tractors at home and we struggled for years and years, and I think that Waterloo boy, it's the holy grail of the John Deere tractor collection. That's what got John Deere going, was the Waterloo boy. And that old B model Mac, it's just, I think, a great looking truck. You know, they don't build them like that anymore, and they're pretty incredible.
I think my passion for tractors has come from being a child on the dairy farm in Victoria and having to drive the tractor and feed the cattle.
Well, the farm hauls, my dad, when he bought the property we're on now, which was in the late 40s, he had farm haul tractors, and we continued on with farm hauls over the years, and we've always had a farm haul on the farm, and they've been very good to us. The big year, it's a 100-year anniversary. The farm haul was built exactly for that, farm haul, but like I've said to others, I think they should have called them a do-all, because they can do anything.
Well, I enjoy it because we can bring history back with old tractors, because I started off as a young boy with spring cart and horse, and we've come up the ranks through all those years with two-wheel drive tractors with no umbrellas, no cabs, nothing, in the hot sun. Then eventually we got smart and put an umbrella up, and then we put a hood over it, and then in the 80s we come into cabs. Yeah. So today it's a very a cleaner job working the farm, because we don't swallow the dust.
And every farmer I talk to, they have a great love for their tractor because they sit on it every day and they rely on that for their living, and that's why I think people love these old tractors. They've relied on them so heavily to make their living, to feed their families, and I guess you can sit on the top of a tractor like you would a horse and you just think, this poor little thing's working and working and working all day, putting up with so much, and here we are, you know, some of them get neglected, and once they break down, the farmer doesn't fix it. They get left in a paddock, the poor neglected little things, and we come along and fix them up. So that's what we're about.
Well, I think one of the big challenges for agriculture is that it's misunderstood, not only by the community, not so much the community locally, but further afield, our city cousins. Getting government to listen to our issues is something that's always a challenge and very difficult to do, because you've got to get their attention span to be able to advocate. So for me, it's a labour of love just to make sure that agriculture gets the best possible deal or the best possible outcome. Sometimes we can't get it exactly the way we want it, but we're trying to make it better and easier for growers wherever possible.
In the past, a lot of people have given little bits of help for me, so if I can help the next generation, or not even next generation, but the way forward from here on in, well, it's just, I just sort of, it's a no-brainer for me, and I don't see it as my competition. I just sort of see it as, if I can help in any way, well, that'd be great. That if it's my legacy or whatever, it's probably, I'm starting to sound like I'm going to drop off. Like, really, I got a long way to go, but and I love doing what I'm doing. It's just going into a different phase. And again, this leadership role, be it in industry or even locally with FNQ growers or whatever, well, if I can contribute in some sort of way, well, I'd be happy. That's why I'm doing it.
I love coming to the field day. It's really good to see everything in one location. You can get around and see everything you need to see in one day. Actually, it takes you more than one day to get around, so there's that much here. So I love coming here. I've been to just about everyone that I could ever remember.
Oh, the field day, this is great. This is a good atmosphere, nice cool days. We can't complain. Plenty of different things for different industries. And one thing about it, I'm a bloke today suffering from sciatica nerve, and so it's part of life. And I'm still managing to get around, enjoy myself, and see all different things. And meeting people you haven't seen for 2 or 3 years and catching up, it means a lot.
Oh, I think this is awesome. It gets bigger and better every time they hold it. And I mean, if you don't find something here that interests you, you're really not going to find it anywhere else. You know, to have the opportunity to have all of these exhibits together in one spot for 3 days, it's a buyer's paradise. And of course, I came with the 3 boys and with Kim, and Kim and I left them because they didn't get past the first stand. You know, so we'll probably go around 3 times before they've actually gone through. So the guys are having a ball. And there's a lot here for the ladies as well.
I've been to all the field days in Australia over the years, yeah, and it's good to see this one succeed and get as big as it has. It's great for the area.
For us, field days allow us to expose our livestock to potential buyers, to repeat customers. We have lots and lots of people who've bought bulls off us before that have come back, and lots of new people we've met as well. So it's not like selling shoes. You don't always sell them on the day. Sometimes it can be weeks, months or years afterwards, but it's great for building relationships, great for exposure, and just really good for overall marketing.
My favourite thing about field days is just the people, or every type of person that comes to field days, from the kids to the businesses, to the elderly, the middle-aged, the farmers, anyone, just everyone that comes through the gates. I love nothing more than walking down this aisle, especially on Thursday when we had a record crowd and I couldn't move, but I stopped for a second. I just looked around and the conversations, the place was just a buzz. Like, it was just buzzing with camaraderie and excitement and happiness, and and then you go down to the tractor pull, and I just love sitting there and talking to those guys and hearing their stories, and I can see the emotion on their face and what coming to field days for 3 days every 2 years does for them. Like, they live for it, and I'm so glad that we can do that for people.
We've learned actually from each different field day that the best thing is actually seeing all the people. So we get to catch up with our regular customers. We actually make new customers from far and wide. But the field day brings through a wide, diverse number of people, doesn't it really?
Events like this highlight the economic value, the part of the GDP of far north Queensland. Hort, just in the Cairns region, is probably worth $1 billion. But if you consider the Cape and all the cattle industry up that way, you're probably talking about a $2 or $3 billion industry, all of far north Queensland, and very much a backbone of the region. Provides not only the income that flows around, but also a lot of jobs come out of it, especially in the hort industry, which I operate in.
We know this event injects millions and millions of dollars into the region, and not just into the region, into Queensland and even into state, because we have exhibitors that come from everywhere. So over 500 exhibitors this year. They've come from all over Australia, and that's what we're seeing at field days. Every year it keeps getting bigger and bigger, and people are wanting to be involved. And I remember, actually, I had an exhibitor say to me yesterday, the reason he continues to support the Rotary FNQ Field Days, and in such a big way, is because what it does for the community. So while their business is doing well, they know it's also their way to be able to give back to the community that gives so much to them.
We're a community bank, so we like the idea that's run by a not-for-profit organisation, invests all the money that they make here today back into the community, very similar to what we do.
I guess people don't realise, a full 2 years almost that you've put this together. A lot of people spend a lot of time making all this behind us come together.
That's correct, yeah. We start planning almost immediately after this event. We do have a bit of a break, but we start planning pretty much straight away. And we have a meeting a month for the first 12 months and then start bringing them down from that. So yeah, it's pretty full on.
It's pretty amazing when you look at this. 500 sites, 450 exhibitors. It's one of the biggest you've ever had. More parking space, more rows to display. You must be thrilled with the amount of people that have taken up the option to be a part of this event.
Yeah, it's really good, and it wouldn't be the success without the committee, without the exhibitors, without the volunteers, and without you people here. So it's just one big team effort, and it's great to be part of.
And I think for me, what blows my mind is what this means to you personally. This event is personal for you, isn't it?
Yeah, good on you. Yep. It's 8 years this month since my father passed away, and yeah, he was involved with this for many years, and also I used to get dragged along with it.
Yeah.
So I've been part of the field days since it was at the prison, and Yeah, it is, and there's other older Rotarians that have been part of this.
Yeah.
And it's just really good to carry on the tradition.
Yeah, it really is, and that what it means to people like Kevin, people on the committee that put this together. Not just rock up to do an event, there's a whole lot more to it, and that's what makes it so special.
You know, there's so many reasons, the whys, there are millions of whys we all do it, and I think, you know, each person has a different why, but then we bring all those whys together and then you end up with a magnificent 3-day event with over 15,000 people, over 500 sites and 450 exhibitors, and an overall happy community.